Hello adventurers, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am back out at Glacier National Park, and I wanted to share with you all something that I thought everyone would be interested in. Now, the park has tons of hiking here, and a lot of those trails are very extensive and long. However, there are a few trails that are designed for everyone, and one of those is Trail of the Cedars. You come up to Avalanche on the shuttle and you can stop off, and it's just a short walk to the crosswalk, and then, well, I'm just going to show you this one. I think you'll really enjoy it. This is going to be a great leisurely walk, mostly covered in shade, and so this is very accessible, very easy, and something right up our alley. Now, this trail is pretty epic because most of it is on these little boardwalks or is in a flat area with very little elevation change whatsoever, and so this makes it easier for everyone, including small children or families who have strollers. The one thing you can't do out here is bring your dog, but that's most of the trails at national parks these days. Now, along the way, you can observe nature, you can see all of the beauty of the surrounding plants, and if you want to be a little bit more daring, you can veer off toward Avalanche Lake, which is not so user-friendly, but also not a super long hike coming out of this same place. But let's take on this trail and just enjoy some nature today. Now, along the route, you can find a variety of different signs to help you understand where you're at a little bit more. And the boardwalks here are just really nice. They're wide enough for people to pass, but you can also take your time that way. And I really like that. Like, for example, here we learn to listen, look, smell, and feel the peace of the inviting stroll of the Trail of Cedars. But along the way, look for the western red cedar, the black cottonwood, and the western hemlock. And this is kind of what the trees look like as you're looking at them. This is kind of an artist interpretation, but you can see the difference in how that the leaves spread out, and I think that that's really nice. But there's also an additional map here so we can figure out exactly where we are, and it's just starting off, so let's go. This is a pretty casual walk. Again, well covered, but make sure you bring some water. There's a fill-up station over at the Avalanche shuttle stop, so you can fill up and use the restroom and everything like that. You do have to ride the shuttle here unless you're able to get the Going to the Sun permit or come before 6 a.m. or after 3 p.m. because, well, that's just kind of the rules here at Glacier. Now, those permits are a little bit harder, but don't be discouraged because the shuttle service is great. It's first come, first serve, and then once you get on the shuttle, they'll bring you here, drop you off, and then come pick you back up in just a little while. Another interpretive sign: gaze down, discover overlooked diversity, dark, moist forest floor. And right next to that, you can look down and see all of the different vegetation, the creeping vines, the ferns, all of the diversity within the plants. But as you look at the ground itself, it is very moist and also absorbing all of those nutrients to pass on to all of these different things. These trees are big, not only at the base, but all the way up to the top of the canopy. They're sharing the stories of the forest with us. But just to help us out a little bit more, there are additional signs, so make sure that you look all along the nice boardwalk. This one talks about the western red cedar, which can measure up to 230 feet tall and 13 feet in diameter. I told you they were big. It's pretty cool because the tree is completely overturned, and so you can see all the roots, and the roots are so like tiny and woven almost into a flat layer that looks like a blanket. So it makes a really cool photo op, but also you get to see how the trees actually are in their habitat. Now, along the way, you'll also see lots of trees that have fallen over and they've been left, and you might think, why? Why would they leave those? But it's so that the animals can use them, and as they break down over time, they provide nutrients, they provide homes, and so much more. And so it's pretty interesting as you come through here because you get to see not only the fully erect trees that are providing the canopy right now, but also those who have met their end days, and they're providing for everything else. The forest is such a neat place. Here it is. The water we were just looking at is right over here to the right. And this is another really neat one. Sounds of the forest, flickers sing, water babbles, forest calling me in. And if you're really quiet, it will in fact call you in. So many different sounds here. Now again, this is a very popular trail because a lot of people can do this one. And so just take your time, take in all the views. If people are wanting to take pictures, you can always just wait and hang out. And that's the best thing about these more casual trails. It doesn't feel so intense. And also you have this coverage of the canopy to keep you nice and cool when it is more intense. But along the way, there's moss on the hillside. There are beautiful, again, trees all around. Leaves just blowing ever so slightly with each gentle breeze. The smells of nature are abundant. And then you hear a random bird every so often that just sounds unfamiliar, and you try to place what it is. But this is why I love places like this. And this is why you guys should know that national parks are for everyone. No matter your age, your needs, your abilities, you can come to a national park and find something epic. Now, this is not the only trail that is a little bit more user-friendly, and when I get back to the van, I'll show you something that Tony picked up. There's a man who's done every single hike here in the park, and he rated them and has information about each and every one of them, and it's something that you might be interested in picking up just because it is an extensive look at each hike. However, within that, he's categorized each hike based on the difficulty level so that you, as a person coming out to Glacier, can plan accordingly for each one of them. He also gives a few tips in there that are pretty awesome. So again, when we get back to the van, I'll show you what that looks like so you can check it out. But Tony was so excited to share this with us all because she knows what it's like going out to a national park and wanting to do all the things, but being really overwhelmed, especially in a park like Glacier where there's over 700 miles of hiking that you can do. And so because I have such a diverse audience, you guys out there, I wanted to share this with you so it would help you plan. So Tony let me borrow it so I could show you guys, and I think that you'll like it. So when we get back, we'll be looking at that, but there's a lot more of this loop to go, and I'm just getting started, and it is beautiful out here. I'm about halfway through the Trail of the Cedars, and this is where the avalanche lake goes up. Now it does, again, not have that nice flat ground like the Trail of the Cedars does, so a lot of people are going up there, but it does say you need to be carrying bear spray if you go up there because bears frequent that area. But on top of that, there are some stairs and some uneven terrain. It's about 1.8 miles in that direction. So if you're feeling a little bit more adventurous, you can go up that way. Otherwise, you can continue the meandering stroll along the beauty that is the Trail of the Cedars, which is what we're going to do today because I brought you guys on an easy hike. I wanted to show you that this park is accessible to us all. Now, along the way, I have seen 2 motorized chairs and 1 person in a wheelchair. It just goes to show that, again, these paths are wide enough for everyone, and if you want to come out and recreate, you indeed can. So don't be deterred. Don't be deterred. Oh wow, look at this. Along the trail here we have this hollowed out tree base where you can see just how large this thing is. It's completely hollow. Wow. I've moved off of the boardwalk and onto this nice dirt section. Even with the dirt, it's pretty easy to navigate around. It's pretty flat and packed, so it's not super loose. So anyone could come out here still. This out, there's a big opening, and throughout the entirety of this walk, there have been benches where you can just kind of soak in the views, which is I think what we're gonna do. The water here is different. It's like transparent and has like this blue-green cast to it that's like a jewel tone almost. It's gorgeous. And it comes down from the glaciers, so it's very unique. And when you get to these places, you really get to see it bright and in the sun. I mean, look at this. How could you not fall in love with this park? Best thing about this is there are no bicycles available for this trail, and so it's just people who are walking around enjoying the nature, so you don't have to worry about being moved to the side, and it's excellent. Definitely one of the more peaceful ways to see the park. Even though there's a lot of people here, there's plenty of space to move about. It's pretty quiet in most sections, unless you have just a little kiddo or something come through, and that's very short-lived. And so you can come here and photograph the beauty of the park, seeing little wildflowers, the massive trees, the beautiful flowing waters. It's just a breath of fresh air. And kind of throughout, you'll find these little blue capped waters, which means you can fill up your water bottles as you go. Wow, it's just incredible. You feel so small next to some of these trees. It's so amazing out here. I have no words. Every time I come to a national park, I think of all of the potential of the things that I can do, and then I do a few of those things, and I make a list for the next time that I come back. This park has so many treasures. You could literally explore every day for months and never see them all. Oh, wow. Every direction. Oh my goodness, I didn't even see this. Been on this path and I came upon this, which is just a little amphitheater where they can do ranger talks. Back to the path, you should always look up. You never know what you'll find. Overall, you can see that the Trail of the Cedars is a 0.8 mile round trip loop, and they do have a restroom at the 0.15 mile mark coming in from this direction, which is the non-boardwalk side where I'm at right now. And so there's lots of options here. There are also a ton of different accessibility points to getting onto this from different parking structures, well, pull-offs. And so that's pretty handy if you are driving. On the boardwalk, this is going to wrap us around to that first initial bridge just up here, just a short distance. There it is, right there. That's where we began. So we've gone 0.8 miles and came all full circle on this beautiful, amazing trail. Now, if we would have started in this direction, there are signs here to let us know about the major 3 trees on this loop. And you can see through the illustration a picture of the bark of each of them, so you can clearly identify them as you're going around. But also you can see the leaves on each one of them a little bit more closely. So this has a lot of vegetation on it between the pages of like the book, and then also the signs that were down low at the base, and then these here at this entry point. It's a huge loop, so just keep on going and you'll find all of these things. It is beautiful, and depending on which way you're going to go, you're either going to see that little waterfall before or after the cutoff for Avalanche Lake. Again, there's tons of other hiking here, and we'll talk about that as we get back to the van, but this has been incredible. I have thoroughly enjoyed being able to share this with you. It's just a nice brisk walk, and even on a hot day where it's almost in the 90s today when I'm visiting, it doesn't feel overwhelming, because not only do you have the shade of the canopy, but also you have those points where you can get into the water if you want to. Just be very careful. I love a good hike in the morning, and I love sharing with you this incredible park. This park quickly moved well up on my list once I visited. Originally it was very high in anticipation, but nothing I could have even thought about this park would even begin to scratch the surface of just how many gorgeous things that there are. I do recommend taking that shuttle and at least going up to Logan's Pass so that you can see what I can only say is Little Switzerland. It is fabulous, but coming here you get to see a different side of the park as you're taking this boardwalk, very easy trail, because it allows you to see the low country as opposed to the high country where the glaciers are. So you get to see where the glacier water ends up down here in the canopy region and why it is helpful. And I think that that's pretty incredible. But I'm not quite back to where I started out, almost. And as soon as I get there, then I'm gonna see what else is at this particular area, but we'll have to catch up on that on maybe a different video if it's something interesting. Came out on the front side just to get one more water view before we head back down. And this runs directly in front of the crosswalk and over here to another sign. Okay, here it is, the Avalanche Creek Bridge from 1936. This is the reason I walked around. This is incredible to see. You pass over this whenever you're on the Going to the Sun Road, and as you do, you're passing over a little piece of history here. I mean, how could you not love this? We made it back on the shuttle and we are about to go check out that map. Today has been just a wonderful day and you can explore the park in many different ways, from the easy hikes to the all-day excursions, and everything in between. Glacier National Park will excite you in more ways than you can even imagine. Whew! Let's get started looking at that map though, and exactly why Tony thought that we needed this. This is the Day Hikes of Glacier National Park map, a comprehensive and easy to use map and guide. It is waterproof and tear resistant and is a part of Hike 734. This guy right here is the man in question. He has hiked all 734 miles of trails here in Glacier. His name is Jake, and in 2011 he became the first person to do this. As a result, this map was put together to explain some of the different things that he encountered along the way, and also to set aside some of the bigger hikes, but also encourage family-friendly or early season hikes amongst those visiting. Now this is pretty large and in charge, so there's a lot of information on here because there are so many trails. This is just one section and it has several others that are still folded up in here. So this is going to be a bigger and more comprehensive look than you're just going to have on that single flyer that you get at the visitor station. Hikes within this map are ranked by the length of the hike themselves, and you can see 0 to 5 and 5 to 10, but there's some additional sections in here as well. So in each one of these, you're going to be able to find a variety of different hikes, like this one, which is the Fisher Cap Lake and Red Rock Falls, which is 3.6 miles, but it tells you what you can expect to see, not only with the elevation gain of 100 feet, but also the elevation loss here at the bottom. In addition, it tells you how to get to that trailhead and a description of the trail itself. So why is that important? Well, each one of these gives you a detailed overview of what you can expect within that hike. You can find out if you're going to be going steeply uphill and then kind of petering off and then going steeply downhill again. You can see if there are wildlife that are typically spotted on these trails. And by figuring out also how much time that you have in the park, you can more clearly see which hikes are closer together using the corresponding map and then the numbers that are featured. But also you can plan which hikes you may have time for versus which ones you might want to put off till next time. And I think that that's what's great. So if you are coming to Glacier and you happen to see this map, I definitely would encourage you to pick it up. Tony was so gracious to let us borrow this today because she has Glacier in her backyard and she wants to make it accessible to us all, and she found this and wanted it to be something that I could see, and it has been so helpful in determining what's kind of closer together, because I get really excited when I hear about a short hike and then maybe another short hike that I might be able to do both of them in a day. But then realistically, this park is so huge that those might be on opposite ends of the entire park spectrum. So this map is probably one of the best ones that I have found. You can see every park hike is marked by a number that corresponds to one of those descriptors, and then you can come over to the map and look at the map more closely to find each one of those numbers, and it shows you again which ones are closer, which ones are further away, so you can plan accordingly. My favorite thing though is that everything is in a region, and it tells you what this region is, and then all of the hikes are color coordinated based on that. So it's very easy to see which ones are close to one another. And going back into the numbers, you can see blues, pinks, purples, all of these are coordinated based on which region that they're in. So again, making it more user friendly. The best part is, folds right up, fits into your hiking pack, no big deal, and you have all of the information that you need about the park. Guys, national parks are for us all, and whether we are able to just go sightseeing for a day and maybe ride the shuttle, get those permit tickets so that you can drive the entirety of the road, or spend an extensive amount of time hiking and bird watching and finding animals and enjoying the cool waters, Glacier is one of those that you won't want to miss out on. And I really just wanted to share this easy walk with you guys today so you could understand that it is here for us all. Today on this walk, I saw all sorts of people, all ages, from the tiniest of tiny to the oldest of old and everything in between. I saw some people who were out there having to use mobility scooters. I saw a person out there who was even on crutches, believe it or not, just trying to see the park. And because of that, it really showed me that Glacier is one of those places that everyone seeks out and has a special connection to. Now, if you do get the opportunity, go check out my other video where I rode up with no reservations to Logan's Pass. That single-handedly re-ranked this park in my top list of parks because it was so incredible, and I think it will really paint a picture of just what you can expect with this park. Now, by no means in this trip have I explored everything. There's so much more to see, and I've already started grinding my gears of what I want to do next time because I want to approach it from a different angle and see what's going on. But being able to recreate even during the hottest months of the year in this park, it's just been incredible. I have thoroughly enjoyed myself, and I think you would too. Remember guys, we're not here for a long time, but we are here for a good time. Come to this park, seek out a map, take a day, enjoy a hike, take some photos, see some wildlife. I guarantee it will change how you see all of Montana. Till next time guys, bye! This place was epic.